As Occupy protesters tried to gain access to Parliament Square, the Metropolitan Police stopped them from accessing the public area by fencing it off and deploying police dogs in the square itself.
The thing is, the state is frightened of us. That's why they're taking this extraordinary action and denying us the square. I think it's actually illegal what they're doing. They cannot simply fence off the entire space. That space is there for people to make protests, and by denying it, I think they're actually breaking the law. But we see in this country, the state often breaks the law to protect its interests.
The organisers of the Occupy movement contended that the police probably have no legality in enforcing the blockade of Parliament Square, but shifted their attention to Downing Street and the Supreme Court.
The purpose of today's action, it's actually an occupation. The plan was to occupy Parliament Square, and we're here to demand real democracy because we have a political system which doesn't represent us, which actually represents the interests of corporations. You know, we didn't vote for NHS privatisation. We didn't vote for the tripling of tuition fees. Actually, that was a direct betrayal of the voters, the decision of government to triple tuition fees. And we didn't vote for fracking in our communities. You know, all these policies have been imposed upon us without any kind of democratic consent or consultation.
Occupy, which is part of a global protest movement, says it's seeking a political and economic system that puts people, democracy and the environment before profit. And its supporters argue that it's important to voice concern at the growing power of corporations over governments across the world.
I think it's really cool. I like how it's sort of happening all over the world. I like the Hong Kong one. Well, I was in favour of the Hong Kong one. I sympathise with them. Here, I wish more people knew about it, which is why I've come out to help document it as well. I wish more people joined as well. But I think what they're fighting for is also very fair. I think it should be. I think people need to be raising these issues, like the fracking and tuition fees and the privatisation of the NHS, because if they don't, then no one else will.
The biggest challenge for Occupy is perhaps the ignorance, apathy or fear of the general public to speak out. However, in spite of the small numbers that turned out to this demonstration, there is clearly a space for more ethical politics in Britain, one with coherent solutions and alternatives to the current generic trend of safety-first politics.
So a largely peaceful occupation has settled in finally, but it really did begin as quite a frenetic cat and mouse game between the police and the occupiers. It's going to be a little game that's going to continue right up to the general election, with these people dissatisfied at the way government allows corporations to run the country as far as they're concerned. Mohsin Abbas, Al Ittijah TV, London.